Good morning, lovely ones. Hello. So I'm just going to do the obligatory hair check as we get settled in. So this is our Facebook Live dedicated to all the sensitive superstars who are out there. All you sensitive superstars who really want to use your emotions as the fuel to bring your big heart out into the world. So I'm doing a series this week dedicated to sensitive superstars, dedicated to women who are empathetic and sensitive and who have big hearts and who have a desire to see more joy and more peace in the world around them. And you know, my work very much has focused around supporting sensitive women to really live their most intimate and their most abundant life. And I was really excited yesterday to start doing this series, because yesterday was all about looking at who you are, like which of the old ways of being you have in you. So maybe you have a bit of a control freak side, or maybe you have a bit of a perfectionist side, or maybe you have a bit of a drama queen, or maybe like me, you have a bit of all of them. So good morning, welcome to episode 2, where we're going to be looking at what fuels you, like how you can use your emotions as your superpower, like really looking at what your sensitive superpower is and how you're using it in the world. And when I say in the world, I don't just mean like in terms of like taking it out and sharing it as a gift, but I mean like within your own life and within your family life and within your relationships, because you don't have to be in a position to be like working with other people as a coach. It might be that you are a really highly sensitive woman who is working in the education sector, or you might be looking at what job and what career you want to be doing, or you might be working in a completely different field, but you know that you have a big heart, you know you are sensitive, you know you are empathetic, and you know that you have got so much to give. And where I really want to look at today is like what it is that really brings that sense of like a desire to see change in your own life and in the world around you. Because what I really feel, and I've been sharing a bit about this recently, is that right now, more than ever, the world needs sensitive women. The world needs sensitive women who have healed their story, who have like moved past whatever happened when we were younger, like whatever our stories were, we've healed those, we've learned from those, we're getting the gifts from those situations, and we're now in a position where we're thinking, right, okay, how do I use what I've learned in order to make my life even more intimate and even more abundant, and how do I bring more joy and more peace to the people that I love and to the world around me. So if you're joining me, say hey, let me know that you're here, share anything that kind of resonates with you. If you've got any questions, please do ask. What I would say is, obviously I'm filming this on my own page, some of you might be part of my Soul Confidence community, so just to be aware that I'm filming this on my own page and I'm sharing this. And what I'm also doing is I'm doing a series of more intimate live sessions where I'll give coaching and support. If you want to ask anything that's really personal, come on over to my Soul Confidence group and I will share the link to that in a little bit. But yeah, I kind of was really inspired to do this session today. Good morning, gorgeous Sandeep. It's lovely to have you with me. Yeah, as you're joining, just say hello, let me know that you're here, and as I say, if anything's resonating or anything kind of is coming up for you that you want to share here, and remembering that this is my public page, then please do. And as I say, we'll be going more intimate and more in depth in the Soul Confidence community group. So I was inspired to do this episode 2 by something that I read last night, and I think now, as a sensitive woman, you know, I'm in a position now where I read things. Now I have to say that I don't listen to the news a lot. I don't read a lot of news. I try and really consciously listen to what I need to listen, and I also trust that through the power of things like Facebook, I'll hear what I need to hear and I'll read what I need to read. And I read a story last night about Casey Affleck, who some of you may know won Best Actor at the Oscars. Now, I didn't know any of the story behind this, but I read up on it, and it was basically a really great article that was written by this woman who was saying that there have been allegations of Casey Affleck sexually assaulting women, and these cases have been settled out of court. And the article was basically highlighting that this is a situation that happens a lot in Hollywood, typically with white males. And she was saying that while situations like this happen, and this is in the public eye, there will be women who will be reading this, and men as well, who will feel that they cannot come forward and share their experiences of being abused or being attacked. Now, I'm not going to go into this in any great depth, but I would just say that even speaking about it right now, I can feel my stomach churning. It's an issue that's very, very close to my heart, and part of my work is to set up a centre to support women who have been victims of abuse, who are wanting to really move past that shame and rediscover their sense of self and their sense of worth, and they're knowing that they are worthy. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into this in any great depth, but the reason I brought it up is because when I was thinking about it last night, I was, let's face it, as sensitive women, like, no matter how much work we've done, I always believe that we are going to feel emotion. And we need to, and I'll be talking more about that through the series, because we need to feel that emotion to be able to feel that empathy. And also for me, and I don't know if you can relate to this, it's like my rocket fuel. When I read stories like this and I hear about situations like this, I think, right, what does the world needs people to be coming forward and sharing their stories, but also saying this is not okay. And as a sensitive, heart-led women, we are the women who can do this, because if we've worked on our own stories, if we've worked on our own experiences and what's happened to us in the past, we can be in a really empowered situation, a really empowered place to be able to support. So it's good to know when you feel something like that, right? When something really triggers you, it's good to know, right? Okay, I can be with this emotion. So for me, I had to take some deep breaths, and I had to really kind of process it, why have I, after I gave myself that permission to feel that emotion. Okay, so why have I read this? Why have I heard about this? And it's obviously because, it's come to my awareness for a reason. And what is it bringing to me into the world around us? And that is so important. So if you are a sensitive, heart-led woman and you're thinking, right, okay, something that I'm reading or a situation is triggering me in some way, and it's bringing up like a high level of emotion, it's giving yourself, first off, that permission to be with that emotion, breathe through it, and just know, like we were talking about yesterday, you're not going to respond from that place. So you're not going to react rather from that place. You're going to let yourself process it, and you're going to notice why it's coming up for you. And then once you've got that, once you're in that place, you can then look at it and you can come from a place of responding with love. Like, okay, so what is different? What difference do I want to make to the situation, or what difference do I want the situation to bring to my life? So if you can resonate with this, if you're watching it live or on replay, please do give some hearts. And if you want to share what you feel your sensitive superpower is, then please do. So this is where we move from, as a sensitive woman, from somebody who is just overwhelmed and so for me, when we haven't done the work on ourselves, when we haven't got a practice, when we're not supporting ourselves internally, as a sensitive woman, there's a couple of ways you can go. And I talked yesterday about the ways of being, the different ways of being, but there's a couple of different ways that you can go. You can let yourself become very overwhelmed and hurt by what you hear, and you can feel really a real sense of overwhelmed by it. Or you can push it all down and pretend that it's not happening, and pretend that you're not a sensitive woman. And I've done both of those things. So once you've moved past that area, and you are in a place of wanting to be empowered with who you are and taking ownership for who you are, then you're in a place of being able to respond with love, because even when things like annoy you and piss you off and hurt you and upset you, you know that you are looking after yourself, you're responsible for your own well-being, you're responsible for your own what's going on internally, and you're kind of placing it all. Then you can make a decision, right, well, what am I going to do with this? Like, what am I just going to, like, is it just a case of, this is an old story, so I need to surrender and do some surrender and some forgiveness work? Or is it because it is part of my superpower that I bring into the world? There's part of my mission, or it's part of my purpose, or this is something that I really want to teach my kids, or this is like something that I really feel like I'd like to bring into my community, this is something I really want to bring into my work. It's really incredibly empowering, and it's definitely moving away from being a victim, which we really obviously want to stay away from that place as much as possible, because when we're in victim mode, we're not in a place of being able to educate ourselves and being able to empower ourselves. And I was speaking yesterday about the fact that you will have probably heard the Dalai Lama quote that, you know, the world will be saved by the Western women. And for me, that's because as Western women, we are incredibly privileged to be to have this access to incredible education and resources and support and connection. And it's our responsibility, I feel like now I can really see this, to do what we need to do to heal what's happened to us in the past, to let go of what isn't working for us anymore, and to make a choice about how we show up, and then we can really bring our hearts and our souls and our sensitivity and all those gifts that come with that to the world around us. Because if you think about it, there's so much that we've got to give, like the sense of being able to be compassionate to other people, but that only comes when we're bringing that compassion to ourselves. We have got no compassion to give if we've not shown it to ourselves first. It's like anything, you know, if you're like, you know, my main drive is to really bring love into the world, then if you aren't showing that love to yourself, you've got none of that to give, you know. And it's really, really important that we are in that empowered place, so we have got what we want to give to the world around us. So I just want you to kind of take a moment to consider that, like if you're on this live or if you're watching the replay, like for you, what do you need to do more of for yourself so that you can bring that out into the world? And that feels like a really good place to wrap it up for today, because I'm going to be rolling out more through the rest of this mini series. And I, if you're watching this and you're following this in a sequence, then I would love you to just take a moment just to consider that, maybe journal around it. So you want to be thinking about what triggers you, and why, and how you can come from a more empowered place about that, and what you need to do with it. And also considering, you know, is there something you need to give to yourself more of, so you can bring that out into the world, or into your relationships, or into your job, or into your career, or your family life, or your community. So it's been a pleasure sharing a bit of this morning with you. If you like this video, if it's resonated with you, and you know there are other sensitive, heart-led women in your life who would love to hear some of this, then please do share this video. I'm going to be linking my group into this, so that if you're not already part of my Soul Confidence group, come on in, because as I say, I'm going to do a couple of very intimate lives where if you've got specific questions or anything's come up for you, you can ask me. And I also I'm going to be doing a really cool free training session next week, because as I've been doing this, like after I did yesterday's session, I realised that there's a lot of incredible training that we can do around this. So you can come and be part of the free training program, and then you'll be able to kind of get all of this on an even deeper level. So I'll be sharing more about that soon. So have a lovely, beautiful day. Please do, as I say, comment, share if this has resonated with you. Come over and meet me in the Soul Confidence group if you want to go deeper, and I'll hopefully also see you on the free training that I'm running next week. Lots of love. Have a beautiful day.